So Donnie McGinnis wants to know, are there any plans for Titans or any other DC TV show to cross over into the Arrowverse? And how could you top Crisis?
Um, there are no plans. I had a there are no plans. How do we top Crisis? I don't know if we can, at least in the short term. You know, I would never say how do we top anything, because I felt that way after Invasion. I felt that way after Crisis on Earth X. I never doubt our ability to top ourselves, but I think what made Crisis, what it was the culmination of 9 years of world building. And I'm not saying, you have to wait another 9 years before we do something like, say, Infinite Crisis. I'm not saying that's what we would do. Just giving an example. But I think to go straight from, Crisis on Infinite Earths to something on the scale of it would only be a letdown for people.
Right. And
I think to actually answer the question more succinctly, the way you top Crisis, I think, is by doing it at the right time in the right way. And if you're not prepared to do it at the right time in the right way, then you're not going to be able to top Crisis.
I agree with that. I think it's too much too soon. It's just too overwhelming. Dakota Hawk would like to know, if you had a choice, what would be the next hero that you would add as a standalone series?
Ooh, good question. I'm thinking.
It's a difficult question to really pinpoint one character.
It is. It is tough. Dakota, I'm gonna completely punt on your question and just say I'm gonna answer the question in the worst way possible. I'm gonna rewrite it and say, pretend that you asked me what I wish we could do. One of the things I really, really wanted to do, and I pitched it and it never really gained any traction, was I wanted to, with Arrow going down, I wanted to take the Arrow sound stages and the crew and the department heads and basically call, it would form what I call a production hub. And we would basically use all that talent and all those amazing people to do like a mini series about Sarah and Nissa, or a Constantine movie, or you name it, sort of really let's bring in new people, but rather, play with the existing toys, and sort of, create like an anthology. So an Arrowverse anthology remains one of the things that I would really love to see. I will say, never in my wildest imaginings did I ever think we were going to end up, seeing on the CW the characters we ended up seeing. I mean, when we introduced, Slade Wilson in season 1 of Arrow, that was like about at least a year ahead of our original plan. Same thing with Roy Harper, at least a year ahead of our original plan. We ended up adding all these characters so much faster than we ever discussed with the studio network, or really ever discussed amongst ourselves. We always said, oh, okay, if we get to a season 3, we'll do this. If we get to a season 5, we'll do this. We ended up doing, all the we'll do this stuff, we ended up doing in the first 2 years.